mayor hides the crime rates. Councilwoman hesitates. Public gets irate, but forgets to vote dates. Weatherman complaining. Predicted sun, it's raining. Everyone's protesting. Boyfriend keeps suggesting you're not like all of the rest.
All right, Jeremy, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was a big get for our show, for you to be here.
There's nothing much. Appreciate
I've been
you.
excited to talk to you and have you on. I'm pretty impressed with everything you've done so far, but it was a big decision for you to come to Michigan State. What was that decision like? That was just roughly 2 years ago, right?
Yep. This decision, I kind of actually committed earlier, my junior year. I thought it was time. A lot of people in my class was committing, and I just really didn't want to miss my opportunity. So just coming to Michigan State was a family atmosphere, family feel. One of the best decisions I made in my life, and I'm just so grateful and happy to be here.
That's great to hear that you can still, after 2 years of being here, be able to say that. And from what I can see, you're a family guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Family's a big thing for me. Obviously, I kind of have a big family, I guess you can say. But we do a lot of stuff together, almost everything, include each other, trips, movies, adventures. So just stuff like that. This just means a lot. And I was just, growing up, family means the most important.
Mom and dad, you have a younger brother playing basketball.
Yep, Oklahoma.
And then do you have some even like real young brothers?
I do. I have one that's a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
He's playing varsity. And then I have a younger one, a little sister who's 5. So.
Oh, so they get to come and watch you play, right?
Definitely. They try to make some games. Obviously, my younger brother is in season right now, so it's hard for him to make a lot of games. He can try to make the weekend ones, but my mom and dad is almost at every game. If they're not at mine, they're my brothers or my youngest brother. So they try to get there and support us, whether it's, a flight, a drive, a flight across, the map. They try to come.
And when you're on the court, do you look for your family? Do you signal to them?
I try to, just a little bit before the game, try to see where they're sitting. Did they make it in yet? And just try to see, what spot or what place they got. So I try to look a little, but then after, I just wait till after the game.
Once it's game time, you're not... Because it looks like Trey, when he makes a shot, he's talking to somebody. Is it just the crowd, or is he talking to his dad? Or
I don't know if Trey talking to his family or friends, but definitely at home you kind of know where your family sits in the section. So we kind of know at home where the spots is, but on the road, who knows? Kind of know where our area is. But yeah, we definitely know where your family is.
So at what point did you decide basketball is going to be it for you? I mean, you're committing as a junior, which means you're 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, right?
Yep.
So there's a big gap between, say, 13, 14. You're not the athlete or physical person that you are, and all of a sudden now you're a Division I prospect.
I'll definitely probably say right around maybe early freshman year of my career, I started to, figure it out a little bit, fall more in love with it, and just really start taking it serious and start seeing myself slowly get better from, the group, the rest of the people. So I just slowly start getting better and better and better. I'm like I can, actually kind of be good at this. So then just kept getting better day by day and week by week. And then I transferred. Obviously, I started at Jolly West my freshman year, transferred to a prep school, La Lumiere, my sophomore and junior year.
Where is that?
LaPorte, Indiana.
Okay.
Shout out them. They got a lot of some NBA players like Isaiah Stewart, Jaren Jackson, Jordan Poole. But they helped me get a lot. I played the best competition in the world. And then my senior year, I wanted to go back home, play with my younger brother, be with my family, and just enjoy my senior year.
And did you win a state title? Or?
I didn't, sadly. We lost in the Regions Championship. It's going to hunt me.
It never leaves you, does it?
No, I don't. I miss, 5 free throws, and I didn't play well.
What was the score of that game?
Lost by maybe like 6, 7.
So when I was in high school, not that I like talking about myself, I was on the golf team. We were the number one team in the state. And I went to Sexton, which was not known for its golf. But we had a good team. We had won everything. And our coach told us, if you win, you'll never forget it. It'll be something that goes with you the rest of your life. And we ended up losing by, a couple shots, and I missed some shots, and some of our better. And it just, you never get over it. You never get over it. I said before, winning is great, but it's never as good as losing is bad.
Yeah.
It just sticks with you.
Forever. Like,
right.
Just always think you could have did something better.
Right.
Win.
I think that is a sign of people that want to get better, that they can accept losing. I mean, losing is a part of winning, but you talk a little bit about in high school about getting better. What were you doing to get better?
Really working out with my dad after practice, coming in on the weekends and weekdays, and when we didn't have practice all season, going to work out with my coach, just try to find any way like to get extra work in. Obviously, that 1 hour, 2 hour don't seem like a lot, but every day it adds up. So you went from 2 hours to 4 hours to 8 hours. So over time, you're putting in more hours than other people. So you're just getting better.
Kobe talks about that a lot, right? Finding that extra hour in the day. Tell me what the difference is now. You matriculate to Michigan State. Were you ready? Were the practices more difficult, less difficult, more intense? I mean, were you ready for the type of practices and regimen that the Michigan State basketball team had for you?
I'll definitely say I think prep school helped me with like some of the principles of basic, high-level basketball. But I'll say I definitely was not ready for college basketball. And I don't really think you can prepare or get ready for college basketball. It's something that you have to go through. Obviously, you hit a wall and you have to push through, and then that's the point of college basketball and experience. Like, a lot of freshmen aren't really ready for college, and
right.
It makes sense. You have 21 and 22-year-olds playing basketball, and obviously you're coming in at 17, 18, trying to compete or be the best. It's not really likely. But that's why, over time you get better and better, and usually the next year is better than your first year.
You hope.
Yes.
You hope. It's not always that's not always the case, but it's more of an art than a science, right? You've shown some decent amount of improvement, I think. How do you evaluate how you've matriculated from your freshman year or your senior year in high school to today?
Definitely just understanding the pace of the game. Like, it slowed down a lot for me. It don't seem as fast. The physical ability, like, I'm able to kind of hold my own and hold my ground against, older players. Obviously, I have a year and basically a half in the weight room. So just, getting that extra time and just understanding, basic concepts and how, the game works. Just at an older level, seeing a lot of film, been in some games, watched some games. So just finally understanding the flow of college.
It seems like on this team, there's a lot of great chemistry, and everybody tries to help everybody else. Is that just something we see from the outside, or is that true?
I'll definitely say that's true. Just because since I'll say it started earlier in the year, we had some freshmen, some transfers, and we just all kind of bonded. We try to go to the movies and an arcade, and we went to Coach House. We got a chance to go to Spain, which was great. So just finding any ways to just be around, be with each other, and just enjoying each other company. So obviously, we actually like and love each other off the court. On the court, just easy, just competitive and just doing what we love.
That's interesting. You went to Spain, and you guys, I don't know, I think you lost one or two games there. One, and you were playing against older people?
Yeah, grown men. It was actually the A-League in Serbia, so they were actually getting ready for real competition, and
professionals, right?
Yeah, professionals.
Yeah.
Getting paid overseas. So just us coming in, and they gave us a great game. We ended up losing by 3 points, But we was not expecting it, but they came out and played, and we played well. But I think just stuff like that just helps us. We just got a few games
and then you
in.
won a game.
Yeah, 1-2.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
And that had to give you some confidence.
Oh yeah, we won the first 2. Then the last game we kind of knew it would be a challenge, and going in, they kind of outplayed us. We didn't play our best, but it was still a great game, and we learned a lot from that game.
And I'm sure everybody knows, but you're a point guard, right?
Yep.
So that position requires, more of you're sort of the quarterback of the team, right?
Yep.
And it's up to you to sort of not only lead the team, but make sure everybody else is doing the things they're supposed to be doing. Tell me how you get ready to do that.
About that, I don't think you can just really get ready for the point guard spot or stage. It's kind of something you had to be doing since you were young. Like, I always been a point guard since 5, 6. So just slowly building those habits, the leadership, the togetherness, and just the flow is just something that you kind of have to be doing since you were young. You can't just wake up and be like, all right, today I'm gonna be a point guard. It's really hard to do. It's a hard spot, hard job, and when something goes wrong, it's the point guard fault.
Do you have to know everybody else's position?
Yes.
Do you have to be able to tell them, hey, you need to be here, you need to be there,
You got to be able to tell them their spots. You got to be able to know the play from everybody's spot in position. You got to be able to know the other team plays and spots. So it's just a lot you have to do. But obviously, you're the coach on the court. So coach gives you the keys and lets you, he trusts you. So you have to make sure that you're doing your job.
And how do you think you're doing this year?
Okay. I don't think I'm doing well enough because we have 4 losses. But definitely think I could do a lot better, and we'll be a lot better. But just slowly getting better and can't really complain, This is a new group of guys, and we all gelling together. Obviously, we have some rough patches or some games, but
is it hard to improve during the season? Like, you prepare all summer long for the season. You know the games you're going to play. For the most part, the roster of the other players. You watch their films. But, things like field goals and turnovers and, fouls or whatever it is, can you make improvement during the season?
I think you can. Just something small, such as, like, I think our problem right now is we're turning the ball over too much, and that starts with the point guard. Like, I'm got to take care of the ball and make sure we take care of the ball. But that's just something you can really build on it and talk about it and make sure you do the most. Take care of the ball. Like, you can rebound better. Just like small areas that you can improve on during the season. It's just something that the team has to be focused on and locked in on. So I definitely think you can improve and get better during the season.
One area that you've improved, the team's improved, is free throws. I think from last year. I mean, we played a lot of games where we were barely over 50%.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear that the practice is any different with regard to free throws. What do you attribute the better free throw shooting to?
A lot of free throw shooting. Like, we spend a lot of time, shooting free throws after practice, before games, at night, during practice. We have, like, small segments where, we break off and we shoot free throws. So, obviously, the goal is to be, 89, 90% on our shot tracker board. So, just every day is that's the goal. So, in order for that, everyone has to be almost 90 or, high 80. So, if everyone is in that area, then, more than likely we got a good chance of getting that goal. And the next day it just shows. What you do the night before helps you the next day. So, we shoot free throws every night before a game. And then the next day, actual game, you got to make free throws.
And you've had a pretty good run, sort of a record-setting run this year, right?
Yep.
Had a tough trip out to L.A. I didn't watch those games. Those were too late for me. But close game against UCLA. How did you play there?
I think we played hard. We just didn't really take care of the ball. We out-rebounded them. We kind of won in every category, but we just didn't really take care of the ball. And I think we didn't really get stops when we needed it to. So, our big emphasis, as a team, we talked about it, is really just getting stops. And, we still a lot of season left in a lot of games. So, we talked in the group chat, like, we dropped 2 games. And we got to be a lot better. We still got goals and still got things we're trying to do. So, just keep working.
Losing isn't necessarily the end of the world. I mean, you'd rather learn from wins than learn from losses. But have you followed Michigan State your whole life?
I haven't. I think I really start, paying attention to Michigan State maybe when I was about 14, 15, like around the 8th grade freshman year mark.
That would have been Cassius's?
Yeah.
And Xavier Tillman and some of those guys?
Yeah. So right around there is when I finally started, like...
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Paying attention more. And I think that's when my love for basketball started, growing really more. So I would just watch basketball, whether it's college, NBA, women's. I would just find any basketball that's on and just try to watch. So that's when I really started falling in love. And then I will always see Michigan State was like one of the top teams, and they got big time games. I really didn't pay attention much, but that's when they really, I really started noticing them and notice how coaches.
And do you get along with them?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love him, and he helps me. He talks to me a lot. Obviously, it's gonna be mistakes I make, and he just helped me through them. He talks to me. He see areas where I can improve, and obviously, he's been doing this for a long, long time. So, he knows what he's talking about.
Did you have any ties to Michigan State? Any of your family come here? Or?
I didn't. No ties, no family. I think I'm the first at Michigan State.
And who were you recruited by?
Coach DJ Stevens.
Yeah, I love DJ. He was part of that 1990 Big Ten championship. But what other schools recruited you?
I had Gonzaga, Illinois, Kansas, Michigan.
So some pretty
Kansas
good.
State. Yeah, I had a decent amount of schools.
And what promises did you get made? Anything about whether you would start or?
No promises really. Just they liked me here. I would be able to play. Coach play through his guards. He let his guards play. Like, this is a guard.
And Jaron Jackson had come here, and you knew him, correct?
Yeah, a little. I know his dad would kind of help coach that Lamir a little.
Okay.
So, but really that I'll be able to come here and play, and that they'll trust me. So, obviously, year 2 for me, year 2/year 1.
So when you were recruited here, you would have been 15 or 16.
16.
And so how old are you now? 20?
19.
19. So 3 years ago. So just on the verge of NIL, right?
Yep. I think maybe my junior year, senior year was the first start of NIL.
Right. So it's completely changed the landscape of college athletics.
Yep.
What do you think about it?
I definitely think it's a great thing that happened. Obviously, with people with different situations, different, family needs and backgrounds and all of that. So people still able to do things and help, their family, help themselves, and just put them in a position. Like, everyone can't go to the NBA or play professional. So just them being able to, have a little something to help them, whether they want to start a business or do something to keep themselves going. Like, it just don't have to be basketball, and this can help them for their future.
Help them stay in school.
Yep.
Help them do better in classes. I mean, people don't think about it like that.
Help them get family to college.
Yeah, just provide them a little bit of security, right?
Yep.
Or a lot of security, depending on who you are and how good you are.
I'd definitely say it helps me because I'm able to, help my mom, help my dad out, make sure they're able to get to games and take care of the things they need to take care of. So
Guys like me and the other people in the lower bowl shouldn't be the only ones that get to come and see you play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your family should come and see you play, and that means a lot to you, it seems like.
definitely, because, they've been with me and being able to support me my whole life. So just, obviously it gets hard with a lot of traveling, and, I'm 3.5, 4 hours away. So that's a lot of driving and hotels and stays, like stuff like that. So just being able to make sure they have no problems with that cost and that to cover that.
What do you think of the portal and how it impacts college athletics?
I think it helps and it kind of hurts, just because, it can help, players, obviously, depending on what division they were. It can help them get on the big stage and, in front of everybody. But I think it kind of hurts some people just because, you may try to transfer, but it's only a couple schools and there's so many kids in a portal that may not have a school to go to. So it's, kind of rough, and it's good and bad, I think. But, hopefully everyone lands in a good spot and it helps everybody.
It's been good for Michigan State this year, it looks like, at least as to the players they've gotten.
I'll say
Frankie and Shaman. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did. Those two, has been a big addition for us. Obviously gave us more depth. Frankie, averaged 20 at Nebraska Omaha, so his scoring, mid-range, can make a three. He gets to the free throw line a lot, and rebound, he helps us there. And Shimon, he rebounds, block shots, lob threat.
Catches the ball.
He just does a little bit of everything. There's small things that you wouldn't really notice, but really make a big impact out there on the court.
Yeah, that's great. So you decide to come to Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
And about how much of your time is associated with basketball during any particular day?
All day, really. It's school in the morning from like 8 to maybe 8 to 2-ish.
And how many credits are you taking?
I think the most you can take is 16.
Okay.
So whatever the most. So you do school, you have tutors.
What are you studying?
I'm doing advertising and management.
Okay.
My major is advertising. Minor.
Sort of business sort of background. So it's not easy.
No, not for I stayed with the same major. I really picked the advertising management just because hopefully in the future I'm able to advertise myself and save some money. Marketing and just find ways to promote myself. Obviously I may have someone do that for me, but at the same time if I can try to do it, it could be cool and help me out.
Right. And
but
you're doing okay in school?
Yeah, no problems
you
with
like
that.
it?
Yeah, I definitely think obviously the teachers they understand like our schedule and what we have to do. We let them know. We send them emails, give them travel letters, and also Hannah, she helps us with our schedule and make sure our classes and let us know what to do, and our tutors. So just everything is really there for you. You just have to go do it. I understand.
And so if you get up at whatever time, and are you in class at 8, or are you traveling to class? Or
so we have breakfast like 8 to 9. So you go eat breakfast, and then from there your day started. Whether you have class, tutors, that's really on your schedule. You have a schedule what you have to do, be at. So everything is right there. It's no confusion. Simple.
Do you go to the tutors every day?
Oh yeah. If it's on your schedule, obviously you have a tutor for almost every class, or if you need one for that class, we can get you help and just really helps you and keeps you focused.
And then basketball is actually being at the Brez is how long?
Let's say practice is at 3, probably like 3 to 5:30, so 2 hours, 2.5. But you're just not going to the Breslin at 3:00. You're gonna probably at 2:30, get treatment, get ready. Just make sure you take care of your body, taped, all of that stuff. So probably 2:15, 2:30 to 5:30.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, what do you do? 5:30.
You go shower. Probably do some more treatment, ice baths, or fireflies, whatever you gotta do to take care of your body. Then you go eat. dinner, and at that time you go home, you got study, you got some homework, and then it's sleep. Then the same thing the next day.
And when you travel, like you did this week, what day did you leave?
We left on a Thursday, so
Because you had a Saturday game,
Yep.
right?
left on a Thursday.
And then it was a Tuesday game, was that it?
Yep, Saturday, Tuesday,
Yeah, so you missed Thursday school,
Friday, and Monday.
and Monday and Tuesday.
Yep.
And Tuesday. And you get let out of those classes, right?
You kind of get an excuse absence just because early in the semester we kind of have a travel letter, and tell them what days we're gonna miss, so they kind of already understand. But at the same time, we make sure we send an email to our professor, just let him or her know what's going on, what our schedule is, and then that we won't be in class for that day, those dates. And at the same time, you still have to do work though. We don't just go on the trips and not do work. We take our computers, your iPads, and if something's due on that Friday or Saturday, you will be downstairs, after dinner doing work or before lunch, and we'll make sure you get that work turned in.
So between school and basketball, it's a full-time job.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's almost you have only the time to do school and basketball.
Right. And how do you like being on campus?
I love it, actually. There's just so much going on. Obviously, I've never been around as many people or, a community like this. I'm used to, public school where I go to school, I go home. So in prep school, it was a small amount of people. Maybe we had 300 kids.
Tell me about prep school. Is that a boarding school?
Boarding school, yep. So I lived.
All male?
No, it was male and female, but we had obviously, different buildings that all males stayed in and females. So you had on-campus students, and then you had day students.
And that takes a certain amount of maturity to leave your family at
14, 15, yep.
And not see them all week?
Months.
Oh, man.
So I would go from maybe, October, November. Well, obviously they would go to the game. I was just an hour 15 away, so I would see them at games. But I wasn't able to go home until after the season, which may be April. And
how did you travel when you were there?
Oh, we flew. We would just go to like Chicago O'Hare, and if we had a flight in like DC or
big time. It was a big time school.
Yeah, prep school. So you play the best players in the world.
Uh-huh.
So that was great. They stayed in hotels. It kind of prepped me for college. Classes about 20 people. So you got help if you needed it. You have to do academics, and at the same time, you get to play the best competition in the world.
So I went to the Madison Square Garden game, and you were playing against Rutgers, and they have some pretty good freshmen on their team, right?
Yep.
I think one guy's name is
Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper.
Yeah. Did you know them?
Yeah.
And how did you know them?
Dylan a year younger than me, but kind of played against him, played with him at some camps. Really close. Like we, talk, text, communicate. Every once in a while. But those two great players.
Yeah.
Potential 1 and 2 picks. So they're great people.
And did you know any of the guys at Illinois?
A couple of them. I know Morez. It's obviously because I played him last year, and he's been around. And then Kylan Boswell is actually a close friend of mine. I played with him since 7th grade. So it was good to see him play against him.
I can't remember, but I think it was the Illinois game. I think I was on the floor, and somebody said to me, they must know each other, and I can't remember why.
Number 4, I think.
Yeah.
The one, his jersey ended up getting ripped. But, that's... we played him last year when he was at Arizona.
And I think there was a game. I think it was the Illinois game. And I can't remember whether it was Kohler or Cooper, but you were sort of inbounding the ball or on the end line, and you started yelling, slam it, or dunk it, dunk it to one of those guys. Can they hear you when you're on the floor yelling like that? Or
I don't know.
Because you guys don't act like you can hear us at all.
It's hard though. I'll say sometimes on a floor when you're in the moment, you maybe can't hear it. Mm-hmm. But if you're actually listening or trying to listen, then you might catch a little of it. Then you process it. But I definitely say for me, I don't really hear the fans in like that moment.
But what about the guy who's not a fan? Because he's yelling too, right? And so is some of the other coaches. They're yelling, and you can kind of hear them, but it's kind of hard to understand what they're saying. But
you kind of know, like the coaches and the bench, you're really paying attention to, like at that moment. But the crowd is like when you're playing, you kind of zone out. You don't hear anything. You're just in the moment, in the game. But I definitely say the most, or the time you hear the fans the most is a close game. Like now you're really thinking and you're listening and everything is like loud. So I definitely say the close games is really when you can like hear the crowd. Or
what was so far at Michigan State? You played sort of what I'll call half the season, but part of the season last year. And then what's been your best arena or best experience? Obviously, you played at Madison Square Garden. That's special. Yeah. But tell me what you think the best experience was.
I'll probably say my first is two. I have two of them. My first road game was Nebraska. And Nebraska fans, I'll say, really come out. They were there. They were loud. They kind of made a run. It kind of got loud in there. I didn't play as good. I was sick. That was my first road game, and I was like, I didn't play good.
That's a nice facility. Yeah. I've been there.
Loud.
Red.
A lot of red.
Yeah.
Then another one says Indiana.
Oh, that's terrible.
We walked in Assembly Hall, and I'm looking. I'm like, I didn't know it was this many seats. It didn't look like it get that loud. But it was a one possession game, and it was pretty loud. I didn't end up playing that game, but just sitting on the bench, I'm just looking around like, this is crazy.
This is my take on it. I've been there a couple times. So I was there when they had Calvin Sampson.
Okay.
His last game. And at the beginning of the game, they were talking about they wanted him to be fired. And they had two NBA players. I think one of the guys was Gordon. So that was Travis Walton and Goran Sutan. And that team, it was probably 08, 07 maybe, which was a good team.
Yeah.
They absolutely blew us out of the water. Oh. And it gets loud because at the ends, it's sort of a narrow.
Yeah.
And at the ends, those bleacher seats are really high, so the sound gets trapped in there. You go up to that second level, which I've never sat, but you're higher than the lowest part of the ceiling. I mean, it's kind of a weird, I don't know.
Setup. Yeah, it's like kind of like curved.
I don't know if you have to walk up there. He used to make some of the freshmen run up.
I did last year. We still do that. We go up to the top.
Yeah.
But the view was like, you can't really even see the game.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were I went to the IU game when we had Gary Harris and Valentine, Denzel.
Yep.
Right? So whatever year that would be, that was a great team. I think we had Payne, but all the fans were mad. I think we lost that game. All the fans were mad because Gary Harris, who was from Indiana, went to Michigan State, right? And so do you know Gary at all?
A little. I see him grind.
He actually worked here for a little bit, and so Gary's dad was sitting like two people from us, and they're yelling at him, and he's yelling back, right? And at one point, he starts taking off his belt. Like he's ready to rock and roll with these guys. And the only thing that saved it, and we're all like, calm down, but I didn't really know him, but it was like The only thing that saved it was there was like Jim Hios and a bunch of East Lansings, Jimmy Satis and a bunch of locals, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
I was there, and Quinn Ferguson was there, and Tom Crean was the coach. And he did the, walk and shook everybody's hand and came over to our group of people and spent, a minute shaking everybody's hands because, he had coached here. He knew everybody.
Yeah.
And it just all of a sudden, the whole thing dissipated. Like,
Wow.
yeah. So, I mean, that's a loud stadium.
Yeah.
I've never seen a win there, but I've been there a couple times, and it's, you win there and it's a special kind of place.
Yeah. Because I went there. I'm like, this is loud. Just sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And it was close moments. I think Purdue was pretty good.
Purdue's kind of funny.
Yeah, but the thing I say last year when we played there, we didn't really let the fans get involved because we kind of kept it, a close game and a run.
I thought we would win that game.
Oh, we were in it. We were in it, definitely. Yeah. But I say Nebraska and IU was the two loudest.
So those are great places to play. Tell me some of the, not so great places to play.
I heard, I didn't go. I heard Penn State was not good. I heard Penn State was not good. Yeah. They said O State last year was not the best. This year O State was it was solid.
O State, Ohio State.
Ohio State, yep.
Yeah.
Nebraska, Northwestern was pretty solid. I just heard Penn State was not,
So you got a little adversity. Coach always talks about that. And, not the end of the world. In 2015, I think it was 2015, we went to a Final Four. That was Denzel, Brandon Dawson, not their senior year, but the year before. Okay. Brandon Dawson, maybe Costello, Travis Trice. I don't think Gary was on that team. He had left. So we had a pretty good team.
Yeah,
but in the Big Ten tournament, we made it to the finals. We lost to Wisconsin. We had the game won. And a ball was going to go out of bounds, and I think Denzel went to get it. And as he's touching the ball, he might have stepped out of bounds, and Wisconsin ended up, it was a heartbreaker. And sometimes when you have those games, in 2005, we had Chris Hill, Alan Anderson, and Calvin Torbert. And they went to the Big Ten tournament, lost in the first round. We were down by 1 point. I think it was Anderson that went to the line against Iowa, missed both free throws, and we lost the game.
That hurts.
So sometimes those losses, you can learn something from them.
Yeah.
And, you realize you don't get a second chance.
Yeah.
And it can drive you. So in 2005, I think we beat Louisville, Kentucky maybe, and one other team to get to the Final Four. We ended up losing in the finals, but maybe in the semifinals. And then in 2015, we went to the Final Four.
Hey. I will say though that do shows and do helps because you wanted to win that game where you was a possession or two, so it kind of do drives you. Just understand.
I think you gotta learn that you gotta learn how to win. You gotta learn how to lose, right?
Yep. And what can lose you games like one or two possessions, like a simple rebound could be the reason you lose. But luckily you get another chance, and now it's the NCAA tournament, and now you understand.
There are no second chances.
Yeah. This is everything right now.
Let's talk about last year because you faced a little adversity. Do you mind talking about it?
Oh, for sure.
You were out, not doing anything wrong, right?
Yep.
And somebody came into the house, sort of a bad actor, right?
Yep.
Next thing you know, a couple people are shot.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
You seem to have handled it with grace and courage, and but at some point you're sitting there in a hospital bed thinking, wow, right?
Yeah, like for me, just sitting there, obviously did the surgery that night, and after the surgery, didn't really even know what was going on. I was on some medication, and I'm like, yeah. So how long? It's like 3 to 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay, So I kind of knew, like, hopefully that it would be
3
okay.
months. 3
Yeah,
months.
I was hoping. So now I'm like, get back East Lansing, trying to do rehab.
Right.
Trying to push for the 3 months. But I definitely say just knowing like this is gonna be different for me. I never really had a injury or a serious injury in my life, so this was something new to me, and I just took it as a challenge. Like, this is a road to recovery, and do anything that I can by getting better. And every day I could slowly start seeing a little progress. And week by week, I was like, oh, I couldn't do this last week. So I think that really gave me some motivation to, just keep going. And then I kind of reached a wall where it was like, I just felt like I was doing the same thing over and over, and I wasn't getting any better. But in reality, I was slowly making progress and gains. And I was at the point where the only thing I can do is the same thing. Try to get more mobility or try to get more balance. And we're just trying to find small gains like that. And it took me a minute. I had a hard time for me. It was hard for me. But just overall, just realizing like you're going to get through. This is really nothing.
It's a life lesson.
Yeah. It's, a bump in the road.
Yeah, and I talked to you back then, and I was amazed that, it didn't seem like he was going to let you, what happened wasn't going to affect whatever you were going to do in your life. And I think that's a lesson learned. You had closure almost immediately, whereas some people never get closure.
Yeah.
It's not only a compliment to you, but a compliment to your family and your upbringing, right? Because, a lot of people can be derailed by that the rest of their life. And, when you have goals and you have vision and you have direction. But let me ask you this. Do you think you're better than you were?
In some ways, I do. In some ways, I feel like I'm still, getting my mojo back. Mm-hmm. My moves, slowly getting, feeling the same and getting back to things that I was, doing forever. So now, obviously, missing a year doing it is like a difference. So it's like some things didn't really used to feel comfortable, and I was feeling comfortable, and now I'm slowly, starting to do more, see more. Like, I just feel like me. I'm getting this back. I'm getting that back. So I don't know. Actually, I think mentally I am, such as learning the game, knowing the game. Physically, I feel like I'm slowly getting back to where I was, and I don't really know if I'm fully there yet.
Don't you think that's the attitude to have, though?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't really like, obviously.
I mean, you never want to feel like you're there.
Yeah.
You? You're always climbing.
It's always getting better.
Yeah.
I want to say, I think I'm getting better and than where I was, but I can't really do anything but just keep going.
You look like you're doing pretty good on the court. Look like everything's coming together for you. I think everybody's grateful. I mean, the fans love you, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, don't lose.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
A million critics.
Don't lose. Whatever you do, you just get the win.
Yeah. So where do you think you want to go with your basketball career?
Definitely professional. Mm-hmm. The NBA is the goal.
Right.
But for me, I'll say I have enjoyed playing overseas. Like my dad played overseas 7 years, but in my 2 trips, I went for USA U16, USA U17, and then when we just played in Spain, just recently, I kind of like the overseas lifestyle. calm, warm, nice views. Kind of just like it's a vibe. I really like it out there.
Good experience.
Yeah.
Especially young, and if you can make a decent living at it.
But definitely, the NBA is the goal.
And what do you think you need to do to get there?
Win, for me. Obviously win, be a great point guard, be a leader, make plays, and just control the things I can control.
Years ago, I mentioned this. Jim Boylan was the assistant coach, and he said, "Do you want a couple of guys to come work for you?" Before NIL, you could employ players in the summertime, right?
Right.
It was legal.
Yeah.
And approved by the athletic department. You could pay them like they would tell you the rate you could pay them. And so Gary and Denzel were working here one day, and I had him doing something outside in the parking lot. And I walked up to him and I said, "What do you guys?" I mean, I think everybody sort of knew Gary was going to be,
Was he one? I think he was one and done, right?
I think one or two, but
it was no more than two for sure.
Right, but
yeah.
So I walked up to Denzel, who I knew his dad. His dad was suite mates or lived on the same floor as my brother. So Carlton.
Yeah.
Carlton, Denzel's dad came to Michigan State in '84 from DeMatha. And I knew him all through college because I came to Michigan State in '83. So I said to Denzel, "What are you doing working here?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you want to make it in the league." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "How are you going to make it in the league working here at $10 an hour?" I mean, come on.
All right.
Right? And then he never worked another day here.
And he played in the league also, so it's a win-win.
And I'm not saying he followed my advice or, but that's the question is, it's easy to go through the steps, right?
Yep.
That the coach or that that they have for you, the schedule. But will the schedule get you to where you want to go? That's the question, that you have to ask yourself. You have a dream, right? How do you execute on that? And if you're doing good academically, how do you make sure you get everything out of yourself? I mean, do you ask yourself that question?
I don't. I think I should, though. But at the same time, I have some goals in my room and things that I want to do. But also I'll say you definitely got to make some sacrifice.
Yeah.
And what you want, like, you can't go out every weekend if you want to, be a professional. You can't, not get extra time in the gym. You have to find time for things you want to do, and you have to make sacrifices. So if I want to get extra shots up every night, I maybe can't play the game as long or can't play the game. So I just got to make some sacrifice in some of the things you want to do. And that's some of the things I really, been trying to figure out and find. And obviously I have to take some things out my day.
Where do you find that extra hour?
And some of the things you do, like I like to play the game. So obviously, I've got to make sure I
play the game.
Video game.
Oh, is it called the game?
Yeah, that's what we call it. So, I can't play the video game as much. Like maybe an hour, then I have to get off and go to the gym. So like instead of maybe 2 hours, that 1 hour I don't play, I can go get better. And then I can slowly, keep getting better and build like those reps, and that confidence help me. Like I know.
And when you say go to the gym, you're not talking about lifting weights.
Oh,
right?
no.
No, you're talking
Basketball.
about basketball.
Going at shots, free throws.
And it's, I don't know what time it is now, 7:20 or something. If you wanted to go over to the Breslin, could you get in?
Oh, yeah. The best part about that is, we kind of have 24/7 access. So all it takes is a fingerprint.
Oh, okay.
So you just walk up to the door, you put your finger, and it scans in, and it opens. So
and how often have you done that after hours?
A lot. So I try to go, can't get my time out, but I try to go, usually after practice sometime, and go get some shots up, whether it's for an hour, 45 minutes. Just, try to keep stacking days.
Consistency is the key to improvement, right?
Yep. You can't go for, 2 days, then don't go, and then try to. So I just try to, slowly try to build a routine, trying to go at the same time, do the same thing, and just consistently get better.
Who Magic is, right?
Yep.
You know who Mateen is.
Yes.
Right? You know what they've done.
A lot.
Well, they have one thing in common with Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
79.
2000.
And 2000. You guys are on the verge, and maybe we don't want to talk about it. I don't know. I think it doesn't hurt to talk about it, but you're in a unique position, right? Cassius, I think, was in that position. That team was really good.
Yeah.
And, kind of got taken away from us.
Sadly. COVID.
Yeah. But, you got about 3 months, February, March, 2 months, right? Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Where you could make the magic happen.
And that's that was one of our goals, We talked about it as a team. And we know, obviously, teams only get better. Scouting reports only get better on us. And
everybody's shooting for you.
Yeah, we was 9-0 in the conference.
Everybody's shooting for you. It makes for their season. Makes their season, right? Just like when we were struggling last year, if we beat, Purdue or we beat...
That would help change us around.
Yeah.
So we still have to make sure, that we're still going out hungry. Still, we got goals and things we want to do. And when teams play us, they're going to play their best basketball. They're going to, give it 110%. So we have to match that energy, effort, and their intensity. And we have to go out and prove and show why we think we're one of the best teams in the country.
And that's important. And where do you what do you think about the rest of the season?
I think we have a good stretch coming up. We got some great teams we got to play. We got Oregon on Saturday. Then we have Indiana after that. So we have some great teams.
Tell me what your favorite day or time to play is at present.
I would probably say a Saturday 1:30 game.
Isn't that great?
That is,
the crowds, and we play an afternoon game. It's completely different than a night game.
Yeah, I definitely think it helps too that it may be the afternoon and people are able to come. You don't really got to worry about nothing. Some people may get stuck.
You get out. It's still light out.
Yeah.
People aren't as tired, and it just seems like a different energy.
Yeah,
I think that was that the Illinois game that we played, a day game?
It was.
They played great.
Oh, they're a great team. But I just think the whole everything changes because, a Thursday game, people may have tests, exams, that they have to do that they can't go to the game. The only thing you can do is watch. But on a Saturday, you really don't have much going on. So that's a great chance and a great opportunity to just, come watch some basketball.
Who is your favorite Spartan?
Cassius.
Is he?
Yeah.
You met him, right?
Yeah, I met him. We talked, we worked out together over this, a little bit over this past summer. And, obviously he was helping me understand, Coach Izzo, obviously I really only played 10 games last year, 10, 11 games. So he was helping me understand Coach. He played for 4 years. And he know the in and outs and how to win, how to...
Did he ever get yelled at?
Oh, yeah, a lot. So he kind of told me, going to be a process, for Coach to trust you. And told me a lot more. But...
Cassius worked for Mike Nichols, who you met just a little while ago.
Okay.
And he went to court with them, and I saw him in court. Yeah, Cassius was, spent some time in a law firm a little bit. I think maybe his girlfriend worked for Mike for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so Cassius had a great career, really, at Michigan State. I say all the time, if NIL would have been around when Cassius played, Xavier Tillman and Cassius would have cleaned up. Oh. He was absolutely loved. Do you remember a guy by the name of Lucas Kalen?
Yeah. I recently learned more about him since I've been at Michigan State.
He's considered one of the better
Oh yeah,
point guards, and I don't know if it's true, but you guys seem to have sort of the same build. He was amazing offensively. We probably would have won that national championship in '09 had he not got injured. But have you watched any film on him?
I definitely seen. We had be having some highlights up and some stuff, but he could score.
Yeah, he sure
He
could.
he could score that basketball. Great player.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know that was who was on it 2019.
Corey, Draymond.
I thought Draymond was on it. Yeah.
I think Allen, Summer.
It's crazy. I seen him when he hit the buzzer beater, like a clip.
Who?
I think it was Galen.
It was Corey.
Oh, Corey hit the buzzer beater?
Yeah, it was Corey Lucius against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen
Yeah,
it because it came up on the timeline.
Yeah.
Big time. I think, was that March Madness?
Yes. Yeah, because we were going home and he made that shot, and then we ended up. Those last second shots are tough.
Oh,
Do you
those are the
practice
worst
for those?
ones. I would say you do, but it's nothing like
The real thing.
the real thing. Like you can, 3, 2, 1. Everybody did that, but it's nothing like those. Whether a team makes them, like we just lost off basically a last second shot.
I didn't see the last second. What did you have? 7.5 seconds.
We had 7.5.
That's a lot.
But it's just it's hard when they make a last second shot. You can't really do much or say much. You can it's a great shot.
I don't think Draymond ever made one,
No.
and he still seemed to have done okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I made one.
I watched Draymond a lot, and I know he missed one against Michigan. He obviously missed one against Duke in the Final Four, although he was fouled.
Yeah. I seen a picture of that.
And Indy. And so, it's not necessarily the definition of greatness, whether you can make that shot, but it certainly is a difference between lore and legend, right? It's
I definitely think that takes some skill and some luck.
Tyson could make those shots.
Yeah. Shout out Tyson. What's crazy is I remember coming on a visit, and it was the day we played Purdue at home. I was sitting in the little
When
fan.
Tyson lit it up.
Game winner.
Yeah.
I went to go party in the locker
That
room with
was
him.
he was over on the
Left wing.
left wing, which was our side of the
Yep,
court.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I was right. Yeah.
I watched it live right before it. I think I was a senior at that time, maybe. I think I was a senior. So I'm watching, and I'm like, last second.
Yeah.
He hit the 3, and I'm like, what? So I got up. We got to go party in the locker room with them. I think Purdue was number 4 in the country at that time.
Tyson
too.
got a lot better while he was here.
Yeah.
We don't have a Tyson on our team right now, do we?
I don't think so. No. But
I went to some practices where Tyson, I don't know if he missed a shot. No, he probably did.
yeah.
But, I mean, there's a big difference between making a shot in practice and making it in the game, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely say the defenders, obviously, everything's a lot quicker and faster. But I'll say for us, we kind of have a different group. Like our whole squad, it can be anybody day. And I think that's what makes our team so unique and so hard to kind of scout for. Because you have Trey, you have Jaden, you have Jace,
Yeah.
sure. You have Frankie. So it's like, who really can you prepare for? You don't know who day it might be. So I think that's what makes us so unique.
I'm not a basketball guy, but you know what I think? Do you care? You probably don't care, but I think you guys know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's hard to get to know, who you are. And you're going to pound it down low, and you're going to shoot some threes,
Yep.
and you're probably going to miss some, but you're still going to pound it down low. Against Illinois, when that game got close, there was no question what you were going to do, right?
Yeah, we trust in our bigs. Our bigs trust in us. So
Yeah.
we know, and I think what's best is for us, we don't try to do something we know we can't do.
Right.
Like, if someone's not a knockdown 3-pointer, they're not going to take a lot of threes. And they understand that. Like, I think some people try to do things they don't do best, and that's when you're really hurting yourself.
But that's a metaphor for a lot of things, right?
Yeah, that is-
Success is often not necessarily learning who your opponents are, but figuring out who you are.
Yep. And I think the past couple games we haven't been us,
Yeah.
and it kind of shows. But we definitely gonna get back to doing what we need to do.
Well, it was great having you on.
Great
I
to
look
be here.
forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Can't wait.
Are you going? Is your mom and dad coming?
Dad, more than likely.
No, good.
Mom,
Good.
got my younger brother and little sister.
All right.
Dad.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.